Yeah, put the thing in for the other.
Is that John I hear?
Hi, Matt.
That troublemaker?
The one. I have one of my aunts is still living. She's like she can be 95 this month up in Wisconsin.
Wow.
She's in one of these retirement homes where they got to stay in their room. So
Oh yeah.
We're trying to send her different birthday cards. So.
And she's not the type that would be happy in her room all the time. She's as sharp as a tack, and so.
Oh sure. I mean that is, that's rough for a lot of these, elderly people who just can't, it's literally prison,
Yeah. Well, I saw on Facebook one. Well, I saw it 2 different times with 2 different people, but they put on 2 pictures. One before the COVID thing. It was in a nursing home, and one after she'd been in. It was night and day difference.
Oh, I bet. Well, that's why I'm glad you guys are doing this class. I'm glad you guys are keeping yourselves active at home and everything, because, really, that's how you get through. That's how you get through it. It's a mental challenge for sure, and that your mind, has such an effect on your body. But I think we'll go ahead and get started here. Now I'm going to ask you guys to go ahead and mute because, and you guys can obviously unmute and talk anytime you want, but I've been having a bit of a feedback issue during classes. So if you guys want to unmute and ask anything, definitely do, but go ahead and go to mute for now. Okay, so today, let's just start with a general warm-up for the Qigong class, okay? So if it's cold, I like to start from toes to head. If it's warm, I like to start from head to toes. So since it's getting colder, let's go ahead and take that left foot and just roll out the ankle. Okay. Other direction. Warm-up seems so, I don't know. I don't want to say boring, but they just seem like something you want to skip through. Other foot, because you kind of feel like, I can do that, and you don't want to really put too much time or effort into it. Other direction. But if you think about like a little game of Jenga or something where you're pushing the little pieces until the whole tower falls over, that's kind of what your body is, because you feel, oh yeah, I feel great, but then you do one move too fast and the whole thing falls down. So put the hands on the knees, warm up the knees. So when I lift weights or do any of my general training, let's bend at the knees and come up straight, bend at the knees. Don't lock the knees, just come up and down. But whenever I do any of my general training, I try to find an exercise that is, or a warm-up, that is most identical to what I'm about to do, okay? So for instance, if I was going to do bench press for the day, I might get a band or even a towel or something like that and just practice stretching forwards and back, because those are the muscles I'm going to be using. Hands on the hips, lean forward, draw a circle on the ceiling. Now Qigong, Tai Chi, the general fitness class, things like that, we're going to use everything. So we got to warm everything up. Other direction. But again, and John was nice enough to ask me last week how my calf was doing, and that was a bit of hubris on my part, because I just take off out of the house running, warm up. Okay, let's go chin to chest, and let's just roll from right shoulder to left shoulder. And so warm up is very important, very important. Okay, let's look center, up, center, down, center, up, center, down. Okay, let's get the arms going forwards. Now, I like to go as big as I can with the arms. You do what your arms tell you they can do. But for instance, if you just go like this and you could go bigger, then your arms are going to start to lose that mobility. Other direction. If you have a frozen shoulder and it hurts to go too high, well, don't go too high, but just do what we call working the edges of the stretch. Go slow and just find the edge of the motion and just do what you can do, nice and easy. It's called a frozen shoulder because it needs to thaw out. The elbows. Now, sometimes it's not that easy. Sometimes it's months, years of work to get it more mobile again. Other direction. But if it's an injury where the doctor says, look, you keep using that and you're going to snap something, well, that's not a frozen shoulder. That's something that's about to snap. Hands together, roll out the wrists. But if they just say, well, your shoulders froze up, as long as the doctor doesn't say, don't move it because you're going to tear it, then you need to keep moving it. Okay, otherwise it just freezes more and more and more. Okay, so good. Let's do a couple more little neck exercises because, again, this time of year, you sleep on the pillow like this, you get up out of bed too quick, and your neck's killing you for the rest of the day. Let's take our left ear, touch our left shoulder. Now, just nice and light and easy, right? Take our right hand and shoot it down to the lower right corner of the room. Now, my intention is to reach for the corner of the room. That makes this nice long feeling from the ear to the pinky, okay? And then this ear is trying to touch my left shoulder, so that makes a little more depth in the stretch as well. Now go ahead and pull your fingers back if it's not too hard, like you're saying stop. Now kind of nod your head, shake your head slowly, like you're saying yes and no. Just find those spots that you need to stretch out in the neck. Go easy, go easy. This is where you hear the Rice Krispies popping in the head. Let the chin slowly drop to the chest and come back up. I say this every class. I say it all the time. Never jump out of stretches because it's right when you go like that something gets pulled. So just don't jump out of a stretch. Okay, let's touch the right ear to the right shoulder. Reach the left hand down to the lower left corner of the room. And again, feel the energy from the ear to the pinky. Now again, in all honesty, I don't really like warm-ups. I don't really like to do warm-ups, but they are super essential. Okay, pull the fingers back. If I'm ever watching a video like this, first thing I do is I kind of scroll forward because I'm like, I don't want to sit here and watch this guy stretch for 5 minutes. But it is super important. Nod the head, kind of yes and no, work on the neck. And chin to chest and up. All of my martial arts practice, all of my fitness and everything like that, I when I was younger, I was always looking for the secret techniques. And honestly, as disappointing as this is, it's consistency. That's the secret to everything. Okay, so you just got to keep working at it. I want to do one more neck movement, and then we're going to get into our Yi Jing Ji, our muscle tendon change. So we're going to take our hands, we're going to roll them around, make two little monkey paws here. I'm going to bring my monkey paws straight up to my chin. Now my shoulders will come up, and usually I tell you not to raise your shoulders, but in this case, it's okay. Okay, I'm going to look to the right, stretch my neck, come back to the front, and roll my hands down. It's not the most, roll in, it's not the most, I don't know, cool looking move. Look left, look forwards, and come down. But again, what I'm doing here is I'm just rolling up. Kind of makes the neck a little tense. And that helps the stretch when I look to the right. come down. And Qigong is not meant to be super serious. Breath in. I mean, some people can be over the top serious about it, but you don't have to. Look to the left. If you find yourself a little amused by something you're doing, if you find something a little silly, come back to the front. What's wrong with being a little bit happy about something or feeling a little bit silly? So don't be afraid to have all those emotions during class, okay? I know a lot of classes it would be, don't do that, we're very serious here. That's not the case with this, okay? So we're going to start with the Yi Jing Ji, like I said, muscle tendon change. When I flex a muscle, that's one thing, okay? Everything kind of comes in and I flex, right? But when I use my tendons and I reach out, then the tendon gets long, okay? So the muscle is the thing that you see more or less on the outside. The tendon connects the muscle to the bone, okay? So we're not just worried about the muscles, we're worried about the tendons, okay? And so the muscle tendon change kind of flexes and pulls and pushes and pulls and you'll see, okay? So the first one we do, we call present the pestle, okay? Don't worry so much about the words. They're like 1,000 years old. It's the way they used to explain it because they didn't have internet, okay? So we're going to go ahead and bring the hands up in front of our body. Breath in. Bring my hands to a praying position. Breathe out. I'm going to open my elbows and push the walls away. And come down. Breath in to pray. Breathe out, flare, and push away the wall. I want to feel the walls around me. I want to feel like a bubble around me. I was asking a couple nurses this the other day. I said, breathe out, come around. I said, do you feel things because your mind thinks you feel them, or do you feel things because they're actually there? And that's more of a philosophical question than it is a medical question. But what I'm saying is, my mind goes to the tips of my fingers. My mind goes to my palms. And thus I feel, and I feel what's going on around me based on what I perceive is there. Okay? So now we're going to add on to this. Breathe in, hands to a praying position. Breathe out, come out to the side. Breathe in, hands behind the ears. Breathe out, push up the ceiling. Breathe in and come down. Okay. Breathe into a praying position. Breathe out, flare the elbows and push away the walls. Breathe in behind the ears. Breathe out and push up. So things like neuropathy, arthritis, and again, and I believe I said this last week, breathe in. I'm not saying this cures anything, you know, I'm hopefully saying that this is helping, but we start to lose feeling in parts of our body based on different diseases, problems, sickness, whatever. And so helping that mind-body connection, you know. I feel the walls. Breathe in. I feel the ceiling. And come down. I'm kind of helping the electricity run through the body, from the brain to the hands. Okay? It's also causing my breath, stretching, things like that. Which, one more time real quick, I keep my crown pulled up to the sky, which gently tucks my chin. I don't want to be like that. Shoulders are down. Okay, everybody's got a little extra tension. Shoulders down. Chest is open and hollow. Lower back relaxed. It looks like I'm just about to sit down in a chair. Okay, that makes my spine long. My knees bend slightly, and my weight is in the mid to mid front of my foot. They call it the bubbling well. It's down here. Okay? So I'm balanced more or less in the middle, but not really the middle of your arch. Think more where the edge of your shoestrings are. Okay? So from there, I'm nice and up straight. This aligns me with gravity, okay? Gravity is always pushing on me just a little bit. When I do this, I may not be aware of it, but gravity is slowly slumping me forwards more. Now, some of us have no choice. We have problems with our spine and things like that, but we want to try to pull that crown up, relax that body down. It's a struggle for sure. So anyway, next one we call plucking a star from the heavens. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one hand, and I don't care if it's your right or your left because I don't want to confuse you with right and left. I'm going to twist, take that hand like I'm just waving at the everlasting sky. I'm going to let my left hand follow. One hand behind the kidneys, and then the other hand goes to the opposite kidney. I'm going to bring that last hand up, and I'm going to look up into the palm. And come down. Okay, so I'm getting this nice opening through the shoulders and the back. So twist towards the other direction. Come back and make a big hello to the whole world. Other hand comes across. Go to the kidneys. Bring that front hand up and look up into it. And come down. Okay? I want you to be aware of what your body's doing here. Be aware of the feelings. Okay? Do you feel your back opening up? Do you feel the tips of your fingers as you stretch and turn? Do you feel your kidneys and the twist? Bring that hand up. Does your neck feel long? Does your spine feel tall? And come down. One more time. Start the stretch to one side, wave to the planet, come around and come back behind. Take that hand and come up and look. Okay. This may not seem like much to you, but with this hand behind my back, I can feel through my shoulder and my neck. Come down. Not everything has to be intense. Not everything has to be painful. That doesn't mean that you're getting a stretch because you're in pain. As a matter of fact, pain is probably a good sign you need to let up. Okay? So, next one is called pulling the 9 cows' tails. Again, it's great. Be amused by it. I'm a little amused by the name as well. All I'm going to do is I'm going to point my toes. Right or left, again, whatever you think I'm doing, whichever direction you think I'm going is fine. Okay? I'm going to take my front hand, and I'm going to put my palm out like somebody's going to hand me something from up here towards the corner. I'm going to take my other hand, and I'm going to shoot down and back like somebody's giving me 5 from behind. Okay? I'm going to open up and reach in both those directions. The idea is I'm trying to hold a bunch of cows by the tail, like you do. Okay, and the cows are kind of pulling me away and opening me up. I got to pull them back in. So I'm going to flex and pull in. Breathe in, stretch out, open those hands. Breathe out, flex in. Now I'm bringing my spine back, twisting my arms. Almost looks like I'm trying to flex here, which I am flexing. Breath in. It's a little sad when you have to announce you're flexing. Breathe out, pull in. So my spine's back, my arms are twisting. Breathe in and come out. Chest opens up. Breathe out and pull in. Come back up. Okay. Now we're going to turn our feet the other way. When there's an exertion or there is a need for letting go of your energy, there's typically an exhale. When we're trying to get our energy back, it's typically an inhale. So if I was doing a push-up, I would inhale on the way down so I could recharge the battery, and I would exhale on the way up so that I had the power to get up. If I was curling a weight, I would inhale at the bottom, exhale as I lift. Same thing with this. Same thing with anything you do. The exhale is typically the exertion. Also, when I want to relax, that's not really an exertion, but it's kind of the same thing. So when I'm sitting here and I'm breathing, you know, maybe I'm just trying to collect my thoughts or meditate or whatever you might think. I'm going to breathe in to feel good about myself. I'm going to breathe out to kind of just let go. Okay? So the exhale is the power. It's the letting go. So always think about that in your positions. Okay? Front hand sticks out to the corner of the room. Back hand, somebody's giving you 5 from behind. Inhale and reach. Exhale, come back. Now again, I pull my spine back. Inhale. So this should be more than an arm motion. I should feel it in the back and in the legs. Exhale and pull in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale and pull in. And relax. Now there's a set amount of numbers in Qigong and yoga and things like that that people follow. They never use the number 4 because in Japanese and Chinese, that number is synonymous with death. So they don't do that, which automatically causes us to kind of laugh and go, ah, those silly people. But then, why don't we have a 13th floor on our buildings? Oh, I guess we have the same problem. Why do we bet on 7? Oh, because we have the same issues. Okay, so if you're doing your Qigong or yoga and you do something 4 times, I'm sure you'll be fine. If you do it 6 times, 8 times, 10 times, I'm sure you'll be fine. But that's why we usually go in numbers of 3 and 6, 8, things like that. Okay? Anyway, next one is called displaying our paws. Okay? We're going to bring our hands up the front of our body. Now, as I do this, I keep my shoulders relaxed. Let your hands float. I'm sorry. I'm actually doing that wrong. Let your hands come up the front of your body. Breathe in. Now, put your palms in front of you like we're displaying our little paws here. And I'm going to pretend like there's a window in front of me. And I'm just gently opening it like an old-time farmhouse window, right? So I just open those shutters and push forward. Now, as I push forwards, I'm going to push my spine back. Okay? Open up and come down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Push your spine back as your hands come forward. Breathe in and down. Now, you might say this seems very simple, similar to the presenting the pestle, which was the first one we did. But we did that in a reverse direction. So the reason that's very different is because this one's working on this cat-cow position, where I'm kind of opening up my spine. It's also kind of like a push-up in the air. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Now your breath should typically be easy. Just breathe natural. Through the nose if you can, through the mouth if you have to. I've talked about this before, I'm sure, but we can make this exercise isometric and work on our muscles flexing more than our tendons stretching, for instance. So we take our hands, we come up, breathe in. Now I'm going to pretend like this window's really stuck and flex my muscles as I push. Flex and push real slow. Now breathe in and relax. Breathe out and down. Okay? Now I could do that for all of the exercises where I just make it a pushing apart, a pushing away. And then that would work more on like strength training. Okay? But what we're doing today in our practice is relaxing, letting go, and letting all this stuff stretch out. Okay? So remember, when I flex, the body, you think about a muscular guy, they look like this, right? But then you think about somebody that's more flexible and they're more, okay? So we're thinking more about the stretch and the relaxation and less about the flex, okay? That's what the fitness class is for. Okay, so 3 plates falling to the floor. Speaking of the fitness class, this is going to be just like a squat. We're going to put our feet 2 shoulder widths apart. Now my toes can point straight ahead. My toes can point 45 degrees. But again, I don't want my knees to bow in if my toes are out. And I don't want my knees to stick out if my toes are in. My knees need to go in the same direction as my toes. And they don't want to go past my toes. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to bring our hands up and inhale like we're holding a plate on each hand. We're going to exhale, come down about 1/3 as low as I can. I'm going to look for my chair and go about 1/3 as low as I can. I'm going to breathe in and come back up. I'm going to go down 2/3. Breathe in and come back up. I'm going to go all the way down this time. Now remember, I sit my butt back, but I keep my body weight over my feet. Let's do it again. Breathe in and up. We're going to go down 1/3. Okay? So if my knees hurt during this exercise, just stop. Go down 2/3. You need to stop and realize, am I bending too far forward? Am I bringing my knees too far past my toes? Now let's go all the way down. But if the front of your knee hurts, you need to stop and, figure that out. We're going to do one more set. Go down 1/3. Breathe in. So remember what I said, exhale on the difficult part. Do 2/3. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do all the way as low as you can go. And come up. And down. Okay. People overlook how important this pelvic bowl and this whole area right here is, okay? We think about our stomach, we think about our back, we think about our legs. We never think about our pelvis, okay? But that is a lot of what's involved in this squat. That's a lot of what's involved in getting up and out of your chair. It's involved in, lots of movements are very, very, very highly entrenched in how I move from here, from my pelvis, okay? So a lot of people just kind of keep this tight and walk around like that. So I want to get to where I can move and sit easier versus, falling back into a chair or pushing up out of a chair. And I know I'd make it sound simpler than it is, but like that frozen shoulder, the more I get used to sitting back and forward, even just a little bit, I'm going to get better at sitting down, getting up, so on and so forth, okay? Next one we're going to do is called 9 Ghosts Drawing Swords. There's a lot of 9 people doing things. Again, there's those numbers, right? So what I'm going to do here is very similar to what we did on the last one, okay? Is all I'm going to do, I'm going to take my left hand, or right, again, whatever, put it behind my opposite kidney. Now only do what you can do. If you have a bad shoulder, you don't do it. Take my other hand, and I put it between my shoulder blades like I'm scratching my back. Now, if I can't raise my hand that high, maybe I'll just do this or I'll just do this. I do what I can do, okay? Maybe I get a belt or something, and I grab the belt to hold my hands together. Maybe I can grab my hands together, right? Oh, good. It's a good Thursday. I can do it, okay? So just get your arms in that position. I'm going to breathe in, look up to my raised elbow. Breathe out. I'm going to try and put that elbow in my opposite pocket. Now, the key word is try. Breathe in, look back up to that elbow. Breathe out like I'm going to put my elbow in my pocket. Breathe in, look up to my elbow. Breathe out, put my elbow in my pocket. come down. Other hand behind the back, other hand behind the kidney. Now, if you cannot grab your hands, doesn't matter, okay? I just want this here, and I imagine you felt it, but when you have your arms like this, it A, works the shoulders, but B, I can really feel it over in this lower part of the back, okay? A lot of times, breathe in and look up to your elbow. Breathe out, put your elbow into your pocket. A lot of times we have, oh, I got this weird pain in my lower back and I don't know how to get to it. Breathe in, look up to the elbow. Breathe out, put it in your pocket. That's what these weird little motions are for. Breathe in. You can feel this in your latissimus dorsi or the lower side muscles on the back. Breathe out and put the elbow in the pocket. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, elbow in the pocket. And come down. So not to pick on anybody in the class, more to talk about just human nature. Whenever you get a new car, and this is, we just did this recently with my wife's car, is you get a new car, I'm going to make early payments and I'm going to make sure that I keep the car clean and change the oil all the time. And then you kind of forget. And then before you know it, you get like a little nick in the car or something snaps, just a little thing. And you go, it's no big deal. I'll get it soon enough. And then you don't. And then there's another thing that pops or breaks on the car and another thing and another thing. And before you know it, you got a piece of junk. And you just can't afford to rebuild the car. So a lot of these motions are just kind of making sure that the paint job stays fresh and that the motor keeps moving. It's preventative medicine, okay? So sometimes it's a little like, it seems like a lot of work, but your car will run longer and you'll be happier, okay? So, next one is tiger springs on prey. Now there's an easy version of this and there's a hard version of this. I only want you to do the one you can. So I'm going to show you here and follow along with me. I'm going to point to the corner. I don't care which corner, one corner of the room or the other. I'm going to bring my hands up the front of my chest, breath in. I'm going to step out with my left heel, reach forward with my tiger claws, and now I'm just going to reach out, bend to my front knee, now roll back, and come back in. So just like a tiger jumping out at something, or a cat. Okay, we're going to do that again, and then I'm going to show you part 2, which is a little bit more difficult, and then I'm going to show you one more part for those of you that feel really, frisky, speaking of cats. So we're going to breathe in and come up the front of the chest. Breathe out, and I leap at my prey. I come down, come up that leg, breathe in. Now, I'm going to step just a bit farther. One more time. Now, when I come back, I'm going to put my hands on my leg, and I'm just going to open my spine up right here at the end. And then step back. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you the advanced in a minute, but let's try the other side like that. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step out with your heel, and like you're just pouncing on something. Roll back, feel your spine and your legs as you roll back. Now I'm going to come out a little further. One more time and roll back. I'm going to put my hands on my quads or my knee, and I'm going to open my spine up and open my chest. And come down. My cat is my cricket killer. Whenever I hear a cricket in the basement, I say, Emma, go get it. And she runs downstairs. 2 hours later, she'll come back upstairs with like a carcass of a cricket. She always sticks her chest out like that, and she looks at me. So I think about that every time I do that, Think about a proud kitty cat, all happy that you got your prey. Now, here's the advanced one. Don't try it if you don't feel you can try it, okay? It's a little rough. Just do the first one I taught you if this seems too much, okay? So go into the corner. I'm going to breathe in, step out with my claws and go forward. Now, for those of you that want to try the intermediate version, you just do what we did last time. For those of you that are feeling real frisky, I'm going to step way out, put my hands on the floor, and open my back like I'm taking off to run. Okay? Then I'm going to come back up and step back in. Now that's a lot of work. If you feel like you can do it, that's great. You're going to get a big stretch through the legs and the back and everything. But if you feel like you want to do the other one, it's got a lot of great benefits as well. So go into the other corner. Breathe in, come up the chest. I'm going to show the advanced version again. Come out like you're springing at your prey. Breathe in. Now this time I'm going to take a big step forward. Come down. Now I can put my hands down, my leg down, and just open my back if I want. Or I can just have my fingers to the floor. Come down. Okay. Okay. Last couple. Be nice to your neck here. We're going to put our hands on the back of our head. Now, bring my chin down is not a hard thing for most people because most people have a problem with their neck going forward. So don't yank on your neck here, okay? Just gently pull down. Breathe in, open up your elbows. Breathe out. We're going to go down about a third of the way as far as we can. We're going to roll up like a little mat. Okay? Breathe in. Open up the elbows and come up. Now breathe out. Roll up like a mat and go about as far as you can comfortably go. Breathe in and come up. Now notice I'm rolling up versus going out. If I go out, that kind of hurts the back a little more. Okay? You shouldn't be hurting your back at all, by the way. It should be stretching. Breathe out. Come down about a third of the way. Breathe in. Open up your elbows. Come up. Breathe out. Go down 2/3 of the way, like you're rolling your spine up like a mat. Breathe in. Breathe out. Of course, I'm talking about like a yoga mat. I'm not talking about myself in the third person. Go all the way as low as you can. Breathe in and come back up. Come down. I should make t-shirts like that. Just say, live life like a mat. You know, I'll make myself into a whole branding thing. Swinging the tail. Now, if you have a chair, because maybe you don't want to touch the floor or bend forward without a chair, feel free to use a chair. Everybody else, we're going to bend forward. Remember, when we bend forward, we sit our hips back so that we don't hurt our lower back. So I'm going to bring my hands up, take a breath in. I'm going to breathe out, and I'm just going to tip forward. My bottom sits back. I don't just lean forward. My bottom sits back. I bend my knees, and I come down towards my toes. Now, if I'm in a chair, I'm just going to put my hands on the chair. Okay? I'm going to turn my fingers towards each other like that. Okay? And all I'm going to do is twist and look over my left hip, and then twist and look over my right hip. We call it swinging the tail. So I guess you can probably figure out why they call it that. Just from left to right, nice and easy. Keep your neck relaxed. I'm kind of tall on my stretch here because I want you to see it. Okay? If you're down here on the floor, that's good. Couple more times, swinging the tail. Now, as we come back up, bend your knees and center yourself over your feet. Don't just jerk up. Stack each of your vertebrae as you come back up. Help yourself up with whatever you need. Come up. Okay? Don't be afraid to do things in a way that you think I'm explaining because you're getting older, okay? I think everybody should get up that way. I don't care if you're 2, 20, 40, 60, 112, you know? Everybody should be getting up, not like this, because that's how you jerk something out of your back. everybody should bend your knees and stack up your vertebrae. Okay? It's not just for people that have problems getting up, it's for absolutely everybody. Good. Last thing we'll do is just a closing bit here. Okay, we're going to do what we call gather the universe. Bring our hands up to the sides. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the universe in towards you and bring it down. Now again, my wording may be the type of thing that makes you go, oh, universe, weird. But I want you to think of it this way. You only know what you see and feel around you, okay? You could argue that you know more than that, but that's all you really know. So all I'm doing is I'm taking everything that's around me that I see, hear, feel. I'm taking a big breath in. I'm bringing all the stress, emotion, everything in, and I'm bringing it down to my center and I'm relaxing. Breathe in. I bring it all into my third eye. Now that might make you say, oh, third eye. But your third eye is basically your conscious and subconscious. More your subconscious, really. Okay? So I bring everything into my mind. And I settle it all down into my center, my lower dantian. Okay? We talk about 3 energy points in Tai Chi and Qigong. Yoga talks about several more. And again, energy point might be a word that you're not comfortable with. But all energy point is my third eye is my mind. That's easy to figure out. My second dantian point right here, this is my lungs and my heart. So I need to breathe properly all day. That makes sense, okay? And then my lower dantian is my center of gravity. It's 2 finger widths below my navel. I need to keep my back relaxed. Now, it's not my belly. Like if I got real fat, it wouldn't be like right out here. It's right in front of my spine. So it's kind of here in front of my vertebrae. So I want to relax and sit into my lower dantian. So this is my balance. This is my breath and blood. And this is my conscience, okay? Or consciousness, whatever you want to say. So anyhow, keep those things in mind. Let's call it a day, guys, and we'll meet back for fitness. Okay? From Springfield Karate and Fitness, I'll see you guys soon. Okay?
Thanks, Matt.
No problem.